Hi guys. You know that feeling when you just met like a friend that you low-key been ignoring for a while? That's what I'm feeling right now. Breathing exercises, because that's the theme of the video. We're gonna breathe. Breathe with me. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we are gonna be speaking about overcoming anxiety. I'm ready to close that chapter, but I can't close that chapter without sharing how to get through it and how I got through it, so that you or someone out there can learn. And if you're in it and you know someone who's in it, or you just want to understand people who are in it better, this is for y'all. This is for those people. I don't know what my neighbors are doing, because I just heard a drill and I was like so upset because I was so ready to film, but they stopped. So if there's noises, it's them. This is not meant to diagnose anyone. Please, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a therapist. You know your story, I know my story. I'm just here to give advice and to be vulnerable and to help you. So I'll add my personal story at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. So if I just thought you'll come, bro. Like, okay. So if this is something you experience and you know that you go through this, the first set of advice is accepting it. You have to accept it. And that sounds like light, or that sounds like, yeah, of course, I have to accept it. But no, like, you have to realize and know and be, what's the word I'm looking for? Be conscious that this is what you're going through. And this is the first advice because it is a big deal that you know and that you accept, okay, this is happening to me. Because you need to know that you're not like other people. And through accepting it, implementing other ways to help guide you through it will feel less you will know that you have to do it, you know. And it's okay that certain things take more time and certain things take more intention than other people have to put. So when you accept it, and there will be days where you don't accept it, there will be days where you do accept it, but the bottom line is you have to accept it. Because when you accept it, you just stop feeling bad for yourself, you know. And your mind turns from I'm so weak, I'm experiencing this, or I'm so weak I can't even do this, or I'm so weak I need to do that to get that, whereas people can do this, and then this happens. You accept that, no, okay, they are able to do that. Okay, maybe right now I am struggling, maybe right now I am down, but I have this is something that I'm going through. I have it. Oh, did I even say the word anxiety? Guys, we're talking about anxiety. I have it, and I need to do these certain things to overcome it. Okay, so when it shows up in your life and when it hinders you from doing certain things, your immediate response isn't to disrespect yourself, isn't to talk down on yourself, isn't to beat yourself up. Essentially, your immediate response is, this is what I have and this is what I'm going through. We're accepting it. Okay, we accepted it. Okay, the second advice is you need a routine. Like, you need a routine. When it feels like it's in the driver's seat of your life, and you know it, you know the feeling, I know the feeling, other people know the feeling, you know what that feeling is like. I'm not going to describe it, but when it feels like it's in the driver's seat of your life, there isn't a quick fix to remove it from that seat. And anyone that's offering a quick fix to remove it from that seat is lying to you, A. Oh, tension. Is lying to you, A. And B, even medication, you need to take it for a couple of weeks until it sits in. So, you know, what I need you to understand is, even if you do certain things, it's not gonna hit immediately, and it's not gonna, those feelings are not gonna subside immediately. You have to do it intentionally and consistently for it to have an effect on your mood, for it to have an effect on your life, and for you to feel like you're in control again. You can devise your own set of things that you think you should prioritize, because at the end of the day, we're all separate people. Like, not everyone's morning routine and night routine should look the same, because even our brains don't even look the same. So you need to like customize it to yourself. So what I mean by you have to have a routine is that essentially you have to have a night routine, a morning routine, and a routine you do when you need to regulate your emotions. Okay, so for the morning routine, you need to, as soon as you wake up, however you choose to customize your morning routine, but somewhere in your morning routine, you need to have a place where you ground yourself. So whether that's prayer, whether that's meditation, whether that's gratitude journaling, whether that's writing affirmations. Writing affirmations. You need to have at least 5 minutes more and up. So 5 minutes is the bare minimum. You need to have at least 5 minutes where you are grounding yourself. I know for me, what I did was, especially when I had to do it, like I had to do it, like I had to have a routine, or else like I was gonna like die. So what you need to do is, okay, so what I did was I would wake up and I would do a positive meditation before school. I didn't really do it during the weekends because I knew later on I would do yoga. But before school, you just go on YouTube. You're watching me on the place that you can go do this, so no excuses. Go on YouTube and you type 5-minute meditation. Maybe you wake up and you feel stressed. 5-minute meditation for stress. You wake up, you feel anxious. 5-minute meditation for anxiety. But the baseline was 5-minute meditation for gratitude or positivity. That's what I would always do. I'd wake up and I would listen to that. Okay, so we have the grounding exercise in the morning. Guys, it needs to be at least 5 minutes, okay? And then you can build it up to like 10. 10 is the sweet spot, but I know not all of us, especially with how our brains are functioning because of constant social media, I know that's not realistic for all of us, but it has to be 5. The next thing you have to have for your morning routine is you cannot have a sense of urgency getting ready. That is just gonna add to the anxiety. It's gonna add to the stress of the day when your day hasn't even started. Whatever time you have to wake up at, just subtract it by 30 minutes. I know we don't want to do that. We want extra sleep, but hear me out. When you wake up earlier, or earlier than other people, or earlier than you think other people are waking up in, you have time to not rush your routine. And that's very important, especially for anxiety. That's very important. No rushing. You cannot have a sense of urgency, and you cannot rush your morning routine. It's gonna feel silly at first, but you have to do it. Like, guys, it will it will relax you. That sense of urgency will go away. We want to walk out the door with as little thoughts of stress as possible. So now we have your night routine. So for your night routine, I would say another grounding exercise, but I don't really do that. So for your night routine, what's important is you get those 8 hours. Right now I'm not doing that, but when I had to do it, I was doing it. So it's very important that you get those 8 hours of sleep. I'm not going to tell you when to sleep because I'm not your mom, but you know how to calculate when you need to sleep so you can hit that 8-hour mark. So you need those 8 hours, guys. And more importantly, when you are going through mental health stuff, when you are going through anxiety, when you're going through all these things that are up here. Oh my gosh, my edges are so pretty, guys. The hairstyle. Anyways, when you're going through all those things up here, the first point of reference is your sleep. Like, you need to make sure that you're hitting those 8 hours. When you have like thoughts throughout the day that are giving you a lot of anxiety, what you can do is deep breaths. Deep breaths, guys, are even if you don't experience anxiety, even if you don't go through this, deep breaths are everything you need to do. Deep breaths. So when you're thinking about a certain thing, or a certain thing happened in the day and you feel like, oh my gosh, yeah, the racing thoughts are coming. So what you do is you expand your chest. So if you are comfortable doing this in front of other people, you can. But basically, that thing we used to do during running, during PE, basically you put your hands on your head like this and you just breathe in. I'm not breathing now, but you know what to do. You just breathe in. You just breathe in and out. The next thing is, what do you do when you're experiencing racing? You can set a timer for, but it needs to be, I feel like it should be under the single digits. So you can set a timer for like 2 minutes or 5 minutes or 7 minutes. You set a timer, and whatever negative thoughts you're thinking about, you're gonna switch that timer on. And all you're gonna think about is that negative scenario. All you're gonna think about is that negative thoughts. Or you need to be very creative. You need to think about the worst of the worst of the worst. Allow your mind to expand on that negative thought. Think. Let's say my negative thought is that I'm not gonna be successful in life and I'm in the wrong path. So when I set that timer on, I'm not gonna be successful. I'm in the wrong path. Why on earth did I choose that degree? Why on earth did I move there? Wait, you're just gonna keep thinking, think, keep thinking about it, keep thinking about it. And then when that timer goes off, you can't think about it anymore. You had 7 minutes, you had 2 minutes to think about that. Now we're done. We can't think about it anymore. Another thing you can do to help with racing thoughts again is deep breathing. Yeah, just breathe through it, you know. I know it sounds silly, and I know, especially if you go through it and you're deep in the trenches, it sounds silly and it sounds annoying and it sounds like you are patronizing. It sounds like you're being patronized, but guys, like, it does help. It really does. It does help. The face is so muggy. Okay. So, yeah. That's what you can do for racing thoughts. And then the next piece of advice is picking up a hobby. Picking up a hobby that doesn't automatically contribute to your future. So picking up a hobby, not thinking about, oh, I can make money with this, or not thinking about, oh, when I get this, then I'll do it. No, just pick up a hobby that truly allows you to be in the present. So pick up a hobby that you're just doing and allow yourself to be bad, allow yourself to be present, and just spend time in the moment with that hobby. And I promise you guys that is a beautiful way of dealing with anxiety. It's beautiful because you are engaging in play, which is very important, not just for children but adults too. And you are, when you learn something new, you are strengthening your brain because you're creating new pathways in your neurons. So, and you're fighting the anxiety and you're subsiding the anxiety. So it's a win-win situation. So pick up a hobby. Scrolling on TikTok is not a hobby. Watching YouTube is not a hobby. Watch the video to the end, but I'm just telling you, I'm just being real. I'm just being real to you. That's not a hobby. I'll add a list of hobbies you can do. You can do that. But yeah, have a hobby. The next piece of advice, the guys were kind of right about it. The boys were right about it. I will admit, and I will say, I'll be the first one to say it. They were right. The next hobby is the gym or exercising. You need to move, you guys. And right now, that's not what I'm doing, but I'm gonna get back to it. I have my way of moving. I used to do yoga consistently, and when I mean consistently, I used to do it every single day, bitch. Like, I was on it, and I'm gonna be on it again. Guys, first year is not for the weak. First year dismantles and disrupts you, okay? So geez, don't bite me, okay? So yeah, I was on it every single day. So you also need to be on something every single day. So exercise, I would say don't do exercising to reach a specific goal, because that's gonna add another layer. But if you want to, that's your prerogative. But exercise, sports, move your body, run, stretch, Pilates, cardio, muscle building, booty building, waist cinching. Like, you need to move. And it helps process your emotions. At first when they used to say things like that, I'd be like, oh nigga, like, you just need an excuse to look max. But it really does help process your emotions. It helps you do something else other than just be in your head. Do something else other than worry. And then the beautiful thing about exercising is that it takes you out of your head, kind of. Sometimes you need to be in your head and focus to do a specific thing and to reach a specific goal. But it kind of takes you out of your head, because when you're exercising, you're thinking about the strain on your muscles, you're thinking about the technique, you're thinking about the body. You're focusing on the body. You're in tune with the body and not the mind. So don't lean on it too much as a crutch to deal with your emotions, but it does help you deal with your emotions. Just not when that's the only thing you're doing. Okay, I gave you advice prior to this advice, so you need to follow that and this. And the second last thing I'll say is, these are all preventative measures, and these are all management measures, right? To manage what you're going through. And when you neglect simple things like the things that I've listed, and you think, like, I just don't have to do that. Like, how is this contributing? How is this helping? What can actually end up happening is, A, you like literally feel like you're not in control of your life in the ways you can control it in. And B, something else might happen, and that something else that might happen is called panic attacks. I'm so sorry, like, that's such a trigger word for me. Those words trigger me. Panic attack, yo. Anyways, I don't know if you can like pick up from what's happening that I experienced them. Yeah, so that's a side effect to experiencing anxiety and not managing it correctly, is can have panic attacks, you guys, and those are not fun. I know if you're sticking around this long, it means you're supporting it, or can you experiencing it? Are you experiencing anxiety? So you know how they feel. I know how they feel. We don't want to deal with those. And sometimes in life we do slip up. Sometimes in seasons we can't really keep up with the measures that we've put in place to help manage our anxiety, and they do come up. So this set of advice is for when it's happening, and what to do in the moment when it's happening. Okay, so it's happening. Whether you just stop breathing, whether you are starting to hyperventilate, whether you are starting to cry, whether you're starting to feel nauseous, the first thing is there is that guide that helps you. Oh, the 2 things you can see, 5 things you can 5 things you can touch. There's that guide. I'm gonna put it up because I mean, that maybe that's why the therapist recommended it, because it's a proven method. I'm gonna put it up, but I'm gonna tell you my method. If you can remove yourself from the environment to go to a quieter place, please do. So let's say it's happening at your lecture room, it's happening in your classroom, it's happening in the grocery store, it's just happening where other people are. What you're gonna do is you're gonna try your best to look for a place where people are not there. Okay, so that's the first method. So if you find a place where people are not there, cool. If that's the best way to do it, just look for a place where no one's there. If you can't find a place where people are not there, okay, you're in a situation where you're kind of forced to stay there, this is what you're gonna do. You're there and it's happening. You're focusing on the sounds, whether it's that car that just came through, whether it's the sound of my fridge because it's so freaking loud, whether it's just a sound. Focus on the sound. And then you're gonna start. I know it's hard. You're hyperventilating, you can't breathe, you feel like you can't do all these things, you feel like the oxygen is just gone, oxygen is evaporated. I know you feel that way, but that's not the case. Okay, so after hearing the sound, you're gonna try touch yourself, try feel yourself, and then you're gonna breathe in for 4 counts, and then you're gonna hold it for 4 counts, and then you're gonna breathe out for 4 counts, then you're gonna be neutral for 4 counts until the feeling basically stops. I know some people write it out. Why are you doing that? I mean, if that's your way of dealing with it, fine, but why would you want to stay in that state? But the main thing about being in that state and going out of it is breathing, guys. You need to breathe. And I'm also going to tell you how to deal with it mentally post the panic attack. Okay, so if it happened in front of people, you're gonna feel embarrassed and you're gonna feel weak. Okay, especially if this is new to you, or you have the personality type of being independent, of being strong, of being able to get over everything and anything. You just need to know that you're not weak. Okay, you just need to know it happened. Okay, you can't turn back the clock. It happened, and you're more than that moment. I'll say you just need to feel as though it's not a feeling. I'm telling you, you're more than that moment. Okay, you're more than that moment. You're more than those moments. Okay, if it's happened multiple times, if it's still something that you go through, you're more than that. You're more than that. And it's a scary way of feeling like you've lost control, but look at you gained it back. Okay, you can gain back that control by breathing and reminding yourself you're in the present moment and letting go. Okay, so you're more than that moment. You're not weak. you just had a moment where you were not in control of your body. And as scary as that feels, you're more than that. The final set of advice before I talk about my own personal story, because I feel like it should be out there just in case someone else is going through it or has gone through it, to know that they're okay and they will overcome, is spiritual intervention. Okay, so if you're an atheist or you don't really believe in the spiritual, that's completely fine. But those who do have their own spiritual beliefs, whether it's Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Buddhist beliefs, African spirituality beliefs, any spiritual beliefs, guys, this is the time to lean on that. So if you're going through it, you're going through anxiety, you can pray about it. I know people say just pray about it, and when they say that, it comes off as dismissive, and most of the time it probably is, because they are recommending that as the only form of dealing with it. But pray about it, meditate on it, talk to your people, your ancestors, if you believe in that. Talk to your ancestors about it. Keep the spiritual. Keep the spiritual spirit. Have a way to keep the spiritual. I don't know if you hear what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say, don't. It's a mental health issue, okay? And then spirituality, but you can lean on it if you need to lean on it. Sharp. I trust that my audience are intelligent people, and they'll be able to differentiate the two without hurting themselves. Another set of advice that's very important is that you need to tell someone about it. I know, but you do. And it can't be parasocial. I know, I love having a parasocial relationship with you, but it can't be parasocial. Like, you need to tell someone in real life, someone that sees you day to day, preferably. And you need to tell them, be like, you know what, Joey, this is what I go through, okay? It also helps to also tell them what to do, just in case you are experiencing a panic attack. Tell them how to like move through you in that way. It helps telling someone, because that further builds your support system. And going through anything, especially if it's difficult, especially if it requires a lot of work to go through, outside of it, even outside of anxiety, you need a support system. So telling someone grows your support system. Obviously, like, you need to tell someone where you know that this is like an okay person, like they're not going to use it against you. Obviously, vet people, but you have to tell someone. It just makes everything easier, and it feels like you have someone else that's got your back. You know, you got your back, and they also got your back. So tell someone. Okay, good guys. Let me tell you about Liam. Let me tell you my story. Okay, I don't want to tell you my story anymore. No, you too nosy. No, you too nosy. Did you see yourself? You just leaned into the you too nosy. Okay, let me just tell you. Okay, so during my childhood, this wasn't a thing for me. Like, obviously, I'd have times where I'm scared because you're a child, but it wouldn't be as perpetual as experiencing anxiety was. The first time I even noticed it as a thing that is different from how I usually am is during the pandemic era. If you were there, I mean, all of us were there, unless you're young. And if you weren't there, I don't think you're old enough to watch this video. Like, oh, I don't even think you're old enough to know me. But during the pandemic era, obviously there was a lot of panic. I woke up one night in cold sweats, and I remember looking at there were 2 chairs in my bedroom. I remember looking at the 2 chairs, and it just looked like a coffin, you guys. So I started panicking that, oh my gosh. am I gonna get it? Stuff like that, you know. Mine was deep. Everyone had that thought at the back of their head, but for the most part people were chilling, but mine was deep. My fears about it were deep. So I looked at the chair and I stopped breathing and I started crying, and it felt like I was having a panic attack. I mean, I didn't know what a panic attack was. Sorry, it felt like I was having a heart attack. I literally couldn't move. Like, I couldn't move, I couldn't breathe, I was crying. Like, I wanted to like call out to my sister because we shared a bedroom. I wanted to call out to her, but I couldn't. And I have never in my life felt that way, the way I felt that night. And after that, a lot of drama ensued. So that I think was the first panic attack I've ever experienced. That was a lot, you guys. And then what was it? Lockdown stopped and we had to go back to school. And going back to school was so exciting and fun. But I remember when tests would come up, or you know, just everyday things would come up, and I felt like I was processing it in a different way. Like, I was more like anxious than I've ever been, and it happened like suddenly, and it just grew and grew and grew and grew and grew and grew. Yeah, it got so bad to the point where if I had difficulties like with the subjects or the test, like, I just panic. I'd panic, and then I'd have a panic attack. It got really bad, you guys. It got so bad. To the point where I had to tell my mom. So I remember I told my mom about it, and I was like, girl, I think I need professional help. Like, this is, it's getting bad. Like, and I remember her trying to give her like mom advice, her black mom advice, like, you need to have routines, you need to do this, which in the moment she was right. I mean, I was talking about routine. I just talked about routines are important. Getting up, making your bed, getting up and doing some things are important, but like, that's not what I needed at that moment. And then I started going to therapy. I don't know, it didn't feel right. I didn't like it. But that is not a reason for you not to go. If you haven't tried it and you think you needed to go, then you can make your own decisions. But if you haven't gone, don't use this, my testimony, if you will, to say that you're not gonna go. But I went. I didn't like it. Like, it was too much. So I went. The therapist talked to me about it, affirmed me about it, whatever. Then I stopped because I didn't want to go anymore. And then it got so bad to the point where I would even have them in class. And I think that was like, not a wake-up call, because I had my wake-up call. That's why I told my mom about it. But that was the point where it was like it's essentially taken over my life. Like, I didn't feel like socializing with people or outside of school anymore. Like, when I tell you, it's such an ugly thing. Like, it will corrode if you do not take care of it. It will corrode any sense of self you think you have. Like, it's that deep, it's that powerful, and I want you to see it as that, so that you can take control of your life back, and so that you don't lose control of your life to it. So everything was getting corroded. My social life was getting corroded. My school life was getting corroded. My grades were getting corroded. I was corroding inside. Yeah, I completely lost myself to it, and I felt like I lost my life to it, and I felt so powerless in that moment. Which, for if you've ever felt a remnants of feeling powerless, is not fun. It's kind of traumatizing. But then I just thought to myself that, you know what, I cannot make it win. I cannot let it win. Like, it's, I can't. This was the end of grade 10. Yeah, it was the end of grade 10. But it got really dark, you guys. It got really dark. It got super dark, super quick. And I told myself, like, I don't want it to control my life anymore. Like, yes, I worry about the future, but I have so much more. I am so much more than this controlling me, you know? So that's when I took the initiative. Like, I went on. YouTube is not a substitute for mental health problems. Again, I said go to a therapist. Like, I also went to one. But I went on YouTube. I read books. I basically, my main thing was, I don't want to deal with this anymore. I don't want this to control my life anymore. I want to do things that I want to do things that I've always wanted to do, and I don't want it to plague me anymore. So I took responsibility. Just because, you see, this is, guys, social media. Like, guys, like, you always have to have disclaimers for things so that you never know what crazy person is gonna take things the wrong way. But yeah, I just don't want it to control my life anymore. So I did all the things that I told you help me, and I recommend you do if you struggle and if you go through, if you experience anxiety. I did them, and I even remember I did them throughout my grade 11 year, and that was like in my teen years, because guys, I'm turning 20 this year. Can you believe? I'm a grandma. Anyways, but that was 2023. And everyone says 2023 was so bad. I had a blast 2023. That year was one of the best years of my life and one of the brightest years of my life, because I started to overcome it, and I started to whoop it in the ass, and I started to control it, and I started to not let it control me, because no. And yeah, like, life got bright again. Like, my sense of self, like, I have a strong sense of self now. Like, I went from losing it to gaining it to refining it to make it mean something to me. So my sense of self went through the roof. My confidence went through the roof. My social life started mending again. My inner world started mending again. My school life started mending again. My grades started going up again. So yeah, everything just went bright again. Yeah, and I can proudly say that it doesn't control my life anymore, and that can be your situation as well. And if that is your situation, congrats. But if that isn't, you feel like you're not there, like, it can be you too. I promise it can be you too, but it has to be you too. So you need to decide that I don't want this to control me anymore. And once you accept, implement the steps, seek help if that's the road you need to go through, it won't. I promise you it won't. And you'll feel on top of the world. Yes, there'll be some things you missed out on if it led you to isolate, and if it led you to isolate. But at the end of the day, everyone has their own time in life. Everyone has their own timeline, and how your day looks and how your life looks doesn't have to look like how other people's days look and how other people's lives look. But yeah, it's something you will overcome. Now it's being deep. Oh my gosh, I love this one. But it will be something you will overcome, and life will get so much brighter, guys. I promise. I promise. I promise. I promise life will get bright. It'll get bright again, bestie. So yeah, those are the steps, and that is the advice I have given to you in how to overcome anxiety. I'm so glad you watched it and you made it all the way to the end. If you made it all the way to the end, what do they do? Actually, no, I'm not gonna follow trends. If you made it all the way to the end, tell me how you felt about it. Tell me your experience with dealing with anxiety. Drop some tips in the comments for other people who might read that. I feel like I want to have a soul again doing this. Like, vlogs are cute. Vlogs have their space in content. But I feel like my strong suit is sitting down and sharing and talking about my experience and just sharing my own knowledge on certain things. And that's just what gives me the most joy. And that's what gives me a soul. You know, I want to feel like I inside myself. So you expect to see more sit down videos. This is a style I like the most. I will do vlogs. I will. But like, this is the style I like the most. Okay? Okay. So don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Heavy on share, guys. Sharing videos, whether it's any like social media platforms, that really helps boost the video. But don't forget to share, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. We're in the road to 500. Please, guys, I'm trying to get big. We're in the road to 500 subscribers, so don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys. And I won't abandon you, okay? I kept abandoning you, but I'm not abandoning you, okay? You're not being abandoned anymore, okay?